Hey everyone, Shack Central here, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and explain the latest change to the Vortex guide, the latest update, which has to do with your gem setups. The reason that I wanted to take a minute to explain this is I think there's a lot that could be really well explained in a couple minute videos, and this change in particular is to kind of push the build toward the direction that I talk a lot about on stream and in the Discord, which is Vortex is great because it is so modifiable. You can kind of take it, the core pieces of it stay the same, but there's enough wiggle room in there that you can kind of really take it and make it your own, make it feel unique to you and your preferred playstyle. So let's take a look at it real quick, the changes. If you don't know where to find these, if you go to the Vortex guide, scroll down here to part 3, you'll see this little spoiler tag, open it up, and we'll go right to gem links. The next video coming out will be coming out soon, and it'll be on the changes to this section. But for now, let's look at the gem links. You can peruse this part on your own time. It's just recommendations for, just a couple of recommendations on what to do if you want alternate quality gems that might have a little bit more, just pack a little bit more punch. So you can read that on your own time. And then this is just explaining basically what I'm talking about right now. There's been changes. It's made to make your personal choice play a lot bigger role in how your endgame skill setups look. So with that being said, let's look at the mandatory links. These are the links that aren't going to change no matter what you do to the build. You should always have these gem links in any variant of Vortex. That's your main Vortex 6 link. You can see all of the supports here. If you have a 5 link, you'll be dropping, based on the color you have, you'll be dropping one of these. These are listed in order of importance. Same with Vol Cold Snap. You really should be wearing a Rime Gaze. It is better than almost any helmet you could ever make for the Vortex build. So in your Rime Gaze, you should have Vol Cold Snap, you should have Bone Chill, you should have Efficacy, and then as long as you have the Rime Gaze, you'll want Hypothermia. If you end up playing with just a helmet with socketed gems or supported by Hypothermia, then use Controlled Destruction. For your movement skill, this no longer has like any variance within the different low life setup, so I've moved it all to here. You're going to be always using Flame Dash. Level 6 Arcane Surge, the reason for this part, level 6, is this will ensure that at level 20, any Flame Dash always procs Arcane Surge. So you want that low enough that you're always getting that buff every time you Flame Dash, because this is based on the mana cost of the skill. For CI, which we're going to talk really, really briefly about because this is mostly about low life, for the CI build, you are going to turn your movement skill basically into a really nice quality of life piece by adding Second Wind, by adding faster casting. It's going to make your movement skill and your just general moving around the map feel very, very smooth because we have more things that we can do with the movement skill links because we're not taking as many auras. And then for all of the low life variants, this is the important part with this item. Whether you put it in your boots, whether you put it in your gloves, you need to have 2 separate blue links. You do not want them combined. You need to have Flame Dash and Arcane Surge separate from Vol Discipline and Clarity. These don't have to be linked. They just need to not be linked right here, because if you link them with Arcane Surge, they will reserve more mana and you won't be able to reserve all of your auras. So with that being said, the only other gem is get an Unset Ring, put a Vitality in it. We are actually really tight on gem slots for the low life build, and Vitality is a very central piece of the new ES Energy Shield regeneration focus. So get an Unset Ring, get an Elder Unset Ring if you can because of a later piece of gear, the Mark of the Shaper, but get an Unset Ring and put Vitality in it. For CI, I'm not even going to go into the CI links because I'm in the middle of an overhaul of the CI build. I'm trying to move it in this kind of Energy Shield regeneration, kind of trying to move it in that direction, but it's really difficult to do. And the main reason is we only can reserve mana. So I'm working on this. I'm not even going to go over it right now. But the big changes are down here. So the low life links. There are 4 variants. And the reason for this is now you have a genuine choice to make whether or not you want a trigger wand or a non-trigger wand, or whether you want to run Blasphemy auras, which basically turns your curses into auras around you, but it reserves a lot more mana, or if you want to apply your curses with a Stormbrand and Hex Touch. So the 4 different variants that we have there are these 4. This is my favorite. This is my recommended setup, but it is the most click intensive, to the point where I've had to put a couple of skills on the control bar. Actually, I can show here on the control bar. I've had to put 2 of these utility skills, and if you didn't know, as long as you remap the control bar to a single key, you can actually cast them even when you're not holding down control. So I can cast these even when they're on the secondary skill bar. So it is a lot of clicking, but It's really, really strong. So this version uses no trigger wand. You use Tempest Shield for some additional block and for hitting enemies with lightning damage to proc your elemental equilibrium. You use Frost Shield, which you just saw there. It absorbs some hits, it gives you crit chance. It's very, very good. And Void Sphere, which is a way of getting kind of preemptive corpse destruction and a way of doing a lot of crowd control and keeping you alive in things like Ultimatum, things like Delve. For your 4-link, this is how we're applying curses. Stormbrand is going to be placed on the ground. You can have up to 3. And then it has Hex Touch, so when it hits, it's going to apply Frostbite, and it's going to apply Temporal Chains. And then Prism Guardian links are always going to be, as long as you have a Prism Guardian, you're going Zealotry, you're going Malevolence, you're going Hatred. That's it. Pretty simple. For the what I'm calling the Modern Classic, I just name these whatever. This is the one that uses the same Stormbrand Hex Touch setup, but still uses that Trigger Wand, and this is for players who want to make sure that they have Elemental Equilibrium up on as many monsters as possible throughout mapping, and don't want to take the risk of any EE downtime at all on bosses, which I don't think you really have anymore. But this is the Trigger Wand, so you want to go with the classic Orb of Storms, the Frost Bomb for the cold exposure, and then Tempest Shield because we're still using Stormbrand out of here. So we have 3 different skills that can proc Elemental Equilibrium with lightning damage. For this is what I'm calling the Wrist Brace variant. This is for people who are big fans of Wrecker of Days' one button builds. This is automating everything you possibly can. So this is using a Trigger Wand to do your Trigger Wand to do your Elemental Equilibrium. This is kind of a flex spot, and I'll probably put a note in here just to notify that. This can be Tempest Shield or this can be Stormbrand. The point is to get it automated so that your wand is just tossing these out all the time, so you don't have to do any of it. And just in the same way, you're going to be using Blasphemy now with this setup. So Blasphemy will turn your Temp Chains and Frostbite into auras around you that apply curses to enemies around you. The last link in this item is going to be anything. This is the flex spot. You can use Frost Shield or an Enlighten to make these reserve less mana. That's my recommendation. But you have a lot. You have a lot of options. You can use up here. I include Decoy Totem, a Golem, Steel Skin. There's others you can use. I've seen people use Enduring Cry, whatever. But you have a lot of flexibility there. The one thing you need to know for these Blasphemy setups is in order to keep all of the auras that you want to run, you need to be doubly sure you've got all of the mana reservation nodes on the tree. You need to take this. You need to take this down here, the Leadership, the Sovereignty, and the Influence nodes. You need to get all of this stuff. And in addition, you're going to need to modify your cluster jewels. You're going to need either on your Energy Shield small cluster or your Aura Effect medium cluster jewels. You are going to need, if I can go back to there, you are going to need the Self-Control notable, at least 2 of them. This reduces your Discipline mana reservation and will let you keep the auras that you need. Otherwise, you're going to have to drop an aura or 2 to run Blasphemy because it does reserve a lot of mana. And then finally, we have what I'm calling the Upside Down variant. This is a little bit like basically the opposite of what a lot of people were starting with, which is not doing your Trigger Wand, so putting Quality of Life gems, like I said, Tempest Shield, Frost Shield, Void Sphere, or you have those other options up here. So you're casting these by yourself, but you're automating your cursing with Blasphemy. So again, you'd need the Self-Control notables on your cluster jewels, but these are your 4 options. So that hopefully is a good highlight of kind of the general theory behind how I've made the Vortex build. Is you can make it your own. There's a lot of options. I do have recommendations because I think this is my favorite setup, but I know that it is a little bit more click intensive. But the point being, make it your own. Get some identity into it. Whatever you feel most comfortable with, try them all out. Try the setups out. All you are is basically swapping out gems and maybe a couple of skill tree passives. So try them all out. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, just join the Discord. Just join the Discord. It's the best place to be. We have thousands of PoE players in there, a lot of Vortex players, people ready to help you with your builds, answer your questions, and just hang out. It's a great community. So that's going to be it. That's really it. I have a lot more videos I'm planning to make shortly with different aspects of the build, different aspects of things outside of Vortex. So if this has been helpful, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll see the videos coming out. You can find me 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 8:30 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. Join me on Twitch. We have a lot of fun. We do a lot of fun stuff on Twitch. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. I've been Shaq Central. Have a great day.